If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
You know what?
What?
I always forget that you're going to do yes, dear listener 3 times. They were both talking at the same time, and then I get annoyed, so I need to just wait.
Wow, you get annoyed very quickly.
It depends.
You are Orion's mother, that's for sure.
AMORPHIS on the Dark Waters.
Is there a little thingamajiggy on
it?
Okay, good.
This is for the big homie Kai.
The big homie Kai!
Yep, then he said, this one is for my little brother. Oh. He would have had his 40th birthday the 1st of June. One of the warmest and best Vin and Sori moments was when you reacted to that song that I dedicated to him. Song is about eternal life. The song is about eternal cycle of life according to Finnish mythology. In the underworld, everything is backwards when compared to the human world. Left is right, up is down, and so forth. The world river turns around and becomes... What do you think?
Tune in Joki, the river of the land.
Of the dead. In this form, the river flows from north to south and upwards again towards the upper world. In the heavens, it returns to the spring at the roots of the birch tree. From there, it flows down through the skies once more as a world river. This is the eternal cycle of life. AMORPHIS on Dark Waters.
Okay.
So shout out to Kai's brother.
Yeah, shout out to the little homie. You'll see him again, Kai. You'll see him again, Kai, inshallah. Okay, guys, here we go. AMORPHIS Dark Waters for the big homie Kai's little homie brother. Let's do it.
Damn.
Ugh, I have to not think about it too much, honestly, Kai. Because, like, when I see my boys playing together, like, the bond and stuff, like, that's gotta be really hard. That's gotta be really hard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the love that your big brother has for you, and Kai is the big brother in that situation.
Oh, jeez.
Like, it's my older brother was never a gangster, and he never got into fights, and he went through that school and pretty much anonymous, fly on the wall, nobody touched him, nobody fucked with him. I got there and immediately I'm in fights, I'm in weapons, blah blah blah, and these kids jumped us, and so the school was like in their area. I mean, they were in Co-op City, and the school's like literally smack dab in the middle of Co-op City. So anyway, Reef got to beef with these kids, and so we started fighting, and then the whole damn place fell on. It was crazy. So, I mean, you know me. You know, I was all irrational. I'm like, okay, all right, they got the drop on me, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get them. So, I waited at the bridge by myself. So, my brother was trying to convince me over and over again not to go. And I'm like, I said, I'm not, no. Like, no. He's like, you could die. I said, yeah, okay. I'd rather die. He's like, you fucking... He's like, all right, whatever. I'll if you make it home, I'll see you. So there I go at the bridge, and my brother's there. And my best friend is there. And we're going to take on the entirety of Valley Mob in Co-op City. And he brought some Vaseline. You know, in boxing, they put the Vaseline on you or whatever. So I was like, I don't need that shit. I didn't want to do that. He's like, it's war paint. You know, because
He's speaking your language.
And I said, oh, well, war paint, okay. So I put on this war paint. Juna's there, nervous as hell. My best friend is there. And, you know, it was a hard time. He was, you know, I got a lot of respect for him because I knew he didn't want to be there. But anyway, of all the days, they didn't show up. Like, it was the only time in the year where they didn't show up. And it had nothing to do with me because I was going to get the drop on them. So they had no idea I was waiting for them. And then now I look back, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Even if I would have got the better of those folks, we lived in their fucking, you know, it was completely irrational. My point is, I was on this suicidal revenge kick, and my brother was going to be willing to go down with me. He was going to go down with me.
So crazy.
So yeah, the bond. He's
such a nice brother
brothers.
because, like, he didn't, like, try to knock you out and drag you. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't want to hurt you.
Because he knew I couldn't get out of my system.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't get that out of my system. Like, I had to be able to say, like,
I'll tell you what, God gave him a lot of wisdom.
My brother? Oh, yeah. He, I mean, that's why he's doing the shit he's done right now. Mm-hmm. So, it's just hard when you're, like I said, that bond between brothers. I mean, all relationships are important, but there is something really, really. What is it? Don't hit Reza. What is it?
Yeah, well, there was the neighbor kids were over, and Reza was on his little bike, and the kid came close to Reza, like, didn't even hit him, and Orion stood at the back door. He was like, "Don't hit Reza!" Like, the person just got, like, kind of close to him, but he was, like, out there to protect him. Of course, he'll be the first one to push him down. You know what I mean? Like, if there's some altercation between them, he'll push Reza, but he didn't want anybody else going after his brother. Like, don't even bump your bike on his bike. Leave him completely alone. And if he's upstairs and he hears Reza cry downstairs, he's like, "Mommy, Reza, what's wrong with Reza?" And then if I'm in the middle of something and I don't answer his question, he'll run to the top of the stairs and ask, "What happened to Reza?" He wants the other kids to report to him, like, is his brother okay? Or
he
And today Reza, this was cute. So Reza's like a year and a half and Orion is 3. And Reza was mad that Orion was on my lap because he wanted to get on my lap, but I was also trying to work. So holding a computer and 2 kids is just impossible. So I'm working on my computer with Orion on one side, and I didn't realize it, but Reza was getting progressively more angry because he couldn't be on me. And he bit Orion's leg. And Orion was like screamed, and then I saw the little teeth marks. Like, he didn't break his skin, but, you know, like the little indentation. And so I was like, I told Reza, you know, you're not supposed to do that, blah, blah, blah. And then Reza was like, I think he didn't expect that reaction.
Yeah.
And then, so Reza said, "I'm sorry, Orion." Orion was crying so hard that I didn't think Orion was going to say anything back. But Orion, like, cried, like, for another 20 seconds. Then he was like, "I forgive you, Reza." It was so cute. That's brothers.
Yeah. To me, it's a hopeful song in a way. He's reborn already. I see so much of it in my daughters and their gestures and expressions. The old Finnish idea that we are reborn into our families. That's legit. That's legit. But, you know, I always say, like, every major culture and society has some form of afterlife, resurrection, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the easiest thing to say is, we can't cope with the concept of death, so you invented this very convenient paradigm where all the people that you love deeply that death has taken from you, that you'll be reunited with them. You guys just made that up because you want to feel good. You want to feel comforted.
And I think that question is a good, like, it's a good question, and I think that the answer that people came up with, you know, probably made sense to them. But you know how we have this idea, like, people want to know what's the reason for life, what's the purpose of existence,
right?
And why do we have this collective desire to understand what is the purpose, what is the reason, unless there is some deep reason that we are searching for something that does actually exist,
right?
And kids will come into that like, what is the reason, what is the, you know, before you don't have to tell them to do that. They come into that themselves. And so I would say the same is true of that it's not that we invented it to make ourselves feel better, but it's that we have this understanding that we are collectively too valuable for it just to be over, but that there is something beyond what we have now, and that, you know, we were built for more of an eternal state.
Yeah, and you know, if you were in an orphanage, and, you know, let's say the kid's been in an orphanage since, you know, he's a baby, he's 9 years old, and we signed the papers and we're gonna take this kid in. And so the kid says to everybody, "Hey guys, I'm gonna get a family, blah blah blah," and they go, "Oh, you're just saying that because you want to feel better." Well, yeah, he does want to feel better, but it's also true. Mm-hmm. It's also true. Mm-hmm. It's true that he got adopted. And so that's what we're saying. We're saying that this world is a horrible orphanage, and we've been adopted. And, you know, sometimes our siblings go on ahead of us. And that's okay, because we're going to see him again, inshallah. But for me, yeah, like, the power, to your point, mankind's obsession with meaning and purpose does not say to me, "Yep, these people are the products of random, purposeless chance." Mm-hmm. Like, think, why would we be so obsessed with meaning and purpose if we originated from purposeless meaninglessness? You know, that tells me something. But the other thing is that, you know, AT and I talk about this all the time, and I think the strongest, this sounds so corny, but the strongest force in the world is love. I've come to that conclusion. And I root all wars and every atrocity in that principle of love, in the sense that I love Aryanism so much that I'm willing to kill you to make it preeminent. Mm-hmm. I love the American Empire so much that I'm willing to, you know, blow you to smithereens to make it, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm so, you know, I'm so selfish, and life hasn't worked out for me. So instead of just killing myself, I'm going to selfishly kill other people because I love myself over everybody. And people are going to have to feel the wrath because I felt the wrath or whatever. That kind of love is massively destructive. But we've seen what happens in the world. Conversely, it's love that inspires a teacher to jump in front of her students. It's love that inspired my brother to be on the bridge. It's love that inspired Dorian. The kid said he was going to have a gun, so he goes to move to put Johan behind him because he's literally willing to take a bullet for his brother. That's love too. And so love is the most powerful force that we've seen. And I think that indicates that love is the first power. It's the it's the primary thing. And so that's the reason I believe that the human family, with very few exceptions, accepts this idea that once our folks are dead, it's over. We're never going to see them again. It's just because the love is too powerful for that to be real. So that's where I am in it. But it's just this is going on my playlist, by the way. What was the name of that song?
On the Dark Waters.
On the Dark Waters. Okay, because I got the wrong lyrics before.
Yeah, beautiful song, and obviously like the context behind it.
Yes.
And then that being the soundtrack, and I'll tell you, this is like one of those. So I'm sure everybody has to do this at sometimes. Like I had to throw up some walls because I was gonna cry way too hard on this reaction. It was just gonna be way too difficult.
Yeah.
So this is I don't know what to say because it's just hearing the situation, you know what I mean? And like knowing that somebody, like, cause I just imagine like my boys and like, I haven't lost any of my siblings. So like, I don't even know what that's like, what you're experiencing. And so like to hear that someone is experiencing a pain that I can't even imagine, is just like, you know,
especially Kai, he's such a
beautiful
soft-hearted
soul.
Yeah, he's a beautiful yeah.
So you know, so shout out to Kai. I can't wait to meet your brother one day.
Yeah.
Kai has like a lot of really beautiful art.
Yeah, it's in our room.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if it's TMI, but it's like right at like
it's like literally in our room.
I don't know what to tell you.
Kai, if you put I don't know if you can type the link, but if you like put part of it and then just say it's, you know, if we know it's a .com or something, so people can see more of your art, that's also something that you could do there. But I loved this song. It was so beautiful. It just seems like a lot of the stuff that Kai picks just has like this sort of like deeper like angle and edge to
100%.
And obviously he was coming with the, you know, the like mythology, I guess, like the, you know, like the story, mythology, the Finnish mythology that he puts into it, which was cool. Like you could kind of like picture it and stuff like that. And then as the song was going on, it kind of added an extra layer to it. So
it's a lot of concepts that the afterlife, like you don't just like end up there, like there's some sort of bridge or some sort of thing that you have to traverse or whatever to get to the other side. You know, Spurgeon would always say, "I'm going across the Jordan," you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a fascinating take. Mm-hmm. With all the stuff that's happening in the world right now, like government, you know, UFO shit, yada yada yada, like it would just be insane to tap into the consciousness of a person that's you know, it'd be crazy. But
well, and like it kind of brings the story to mind. This story that they're called the Aka Indians, but I'm sure that there's probably like a bigger name, and we just kind of went with the shorter ones. I'm not really sure. But there was like this group of missionaries that had gone there, and they wanted to tell these. Well, I'm pretty sure they were an untouched people group that had never seen outside people. And so this group of Christians, you know, they were dropping gifts for them and different things to try to like bridge the gap before they went down there. And it seemed like it was going to be like a good meeting. And they flew their plane down there. They met with the people. Everything was going really good, but I'm not sure if that was the Hollywood version, that there was some sort of miscommunication that happened, and they got massacred on the beach. Well, according to the Aka Indians, you had to jump the Great Boa.
Well, as they were getting stabbed, they had guns.
They did. Yeah.
They had guns. As they were getting stabbed by these spears, he just shot the gun into the air to kind of scare them off. Mm-hmm. But they were already in a frenzy, so they came at them. And the guy refused to aim the gun and kill those guys. Mm-hmm. He refused. Mm-hmm. So he died.
Yeah. The whole crew died.
For the people killing him.
Yeah. And then, time went by, and the wives decided that they were going to go back to that tribe and, have, a second attempt to share Christ with them. And so they do. They go, they put their babies on their backs, and they go in there. And, eventually...
The women are incredible.
It was just incredible story. Incredible, and so the women get in there, they become a part of the village, and in fact, one of the men that had killed the kid's dad became the kid's grandfather. It was just an amazing story. But anyway, once they were able to write down, get a written version of their language and then be able to speak their language, and they were able to communicate with them. Obviously, this took some time. They told a story that, because according to their tribe, you had to jump the Great Boa, and that was how you got to the other side. So
Boa was like a river, right?
It was the river, yeah.
Yeah. So you had to jump over this river to get to...
That was the way to get to, the paradise on the other side. So if you weren't whatever, you didn't make the jump, then you were not going to be in a better place. And so they kind of had a version, it seemed of heaven and hell, but it was different. And
that's the same in Islam, by the way. On the Day of Judgment, there's this bridge from here to here. And if you get all the way across, it's because you had good iman or whatever, and so you get to heaven. But a whole bunch of people slip and fall. Yeah. And you basically fall into hellfire until you purgate yourself, and then you get out. So there's a common theme with a lot of these.
Yeah, you kind of see it. Well, they said that was one of the things that kind of freaked them out a little bit, was when they killed those guys on the beach, they saw those guys jump the Great Boa. And so they were how? You know,
but they did it in a single leap or something.
Yeah, it was because, obviously each tribe has their own belief system, and so they believe these people were bad. Right. And they were killing them, obviously. And then for them all to be able to jump, all of them survive, all of them made it to the other, that was curious. And then that ended up, the Wodani.
Yeah, the Wadani equate death in the afterlife to jumping the Great Boa. They believe that the goal in life is to become strong enough to do this, which in their minds justifies frequent spearings. Those who are weak and fail this jump end up as termites. See. Holy shit. Yeah, if you're weak, then you end up as a termite. What's fascinating is, in their culture, the way to prove your strength was to kill. Not to be killed. So that's pretty fascinating, because for them to show that, for them to see that these missionaries jumped the Great Boa, then and that they made it, in their act of weakness, allowing themselves to be killed, and then God or whoever they rewards them by getting them across this boa. They also said they saw angels when that was happening after they died. It's quoted in there.
They have there's the End of the Spear, I think, is the name of the movie.
Yeah. It's called The End of the Spear. Yeah.
It's a pretty good. Well, I don't know if I'm saying it's a good movie because it's something that I've seen in the past. I thought it was a good movie, and they showed real footage and stuff of the actual people and stuff, and pretty sure at the end you see the older version of one of those Indians that actually ended up coming to America.
Oh yeah. That's the guy. That was one of the main guys that killed the kid's dad. Mm-hmm. And now they're best friends. It's an unbelievable story.
Yeah. So it's a good watch.
It is a good watch. It was an amazing testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah. To die is nothing. To jump the Great Boa is everything. So, that's crazy. Right there. Minkayani opens up to Steve Satan, tells him, "Your father was a special man. I saw him jump the Great Boa while he was still alive. I speared your father. There's more you need to know. We saw them. Your father saw them too. Shining ones. They had seen angels appear after they had speared the missionary. Steve State responds to Minkiani in grief. No one took my father's life. He gave it. At the conclusion of the film, Steve State notes that for the first time in Wadani history, they have grandfathers. Holy shit! They never had grandfathers.
No, because they were all dying.
murdering
They were
each other.
always fighting and always killing. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So it's just a fascinating. It's unbelievable. You know, you can say, oh, it's wishful thinking, blah blah blah. You can say that if you want. I understand. But to me,
but when you're
it's
seeing
not.
something outside of your believed reality,
Yes.
like they didn't believe that anyone could jump the Great Boa while they were still alive, because he speared him. The guy was dying.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't even dead yet when they saw him.
Right,
do
they
that.
saw his
so
spirit
they were like,
leave his
"This
body.
is unbelievable. Your spirit left. It jumped over
And
the
he
Great
wasn't-
Boa.
yeah.
This doesn't fit." And it totally didn't fit their belief system, because one, they weren't one of these people.
Yeah.
And so, by all rights, they should have died right there on the beach, but they saw something like that. So it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff, guys. Much love to everybody. Shout out to my brother Kai. Love you, buddy. Thanks for the music. AT, Amy Lee, all you beautiful people. Much love to all you guys. What do you get the song? I mean, it's going in my playlist, so it's getting a 10 for me.
It's a silent count for me. Like, silent count, because like the it was just really, it was a hard listen, but it's definitely a very good one. It would definitely get a high rating. It's just I got to put a silent one on this because it would just had a lot of emotion there.
Giving it a 10. Really, really good song, and
Yeah.
it's on my playlist.
Yep.
Long live Kai.